Hi, welcome back to the course on pronunciation. So, the name of the course is Communication and Soft Skills Foundation course. So, we are focusing on pronunciation from few sessions, and today the focus is also again on pronunciation, not just to get the techniques right, not just to get the information correct, but to master the overall art of communication. So, to keep in mind language and listening, now that we have been talking so much about language, so much about techniques and the rules for sounds, the letters, the enunciation practice, and what to be focused on when we are giving out information, what is communication. So, language and listening plays a very important role. You cannot be good at language unless until you are a better listener, unless and until you start making that attempt to be good and effective in listening. So, how do I do that? So, next time, each time when somebody is talking, be attentive, get this information out there that unless and until you are a great listener, a best listener, you can never be a good speaker. You can never achieve the best category to be a speaker unless and until you follow the art of effective listening. So, how do I listen and how do I be there? All you have to do is just be attentive. So, how do I be attentive? I can be attentive by having that concentration right there. I can be attentive by being consciously focusing on what has been spoken. Or maybe if you are in a virtual communication, that is communication over the phone or over internet, maybe you can start making notes. That can certainly help you. You can start having information in bits and pieces in terms of just like typing keywords while you're listening, to get this information handy and to have the information accurately with you. Maybe you have to go back and present, or maybe you have to start using this piece of information for the next part in communication. So, that is to keep in mind. So, like we have been discussing about one fact, that what is the key of communication, what is it that you are supposed to focus on when somebody is talking, when somebody is speaking, that is the native speakers. So, the magic key apart from IPA is the magic of syllable stress, that is the word stress rules in English language. Let us look at the slide right now to understand this. So, what is a syllable? So, simple, the syllable can be there in terms of giving you the smallest unit of a word. It is the single vowel sound at its core. So, all your vowel sounds count are equivalent to your number of syllables in a word. So, let us focus on the explanation right now. So, next time when you have somebody talking to you, so next time you have you're listening to the conversation, you're listening to a native speaker precisely. If you would like to be aspiring the accent, so you can start behaving the way the information is being given right now. So, all you have to do is start observing the accent, start observing the sound, start observing the way certain words are stressed at. So, in order to make your communication easy, maybe you can listen to this piece of conversation, and the information is, when you're speaking, when you're giving out information, you need to make it more presentable, you need to make it good to the listener. And likewise, when a native speaker or somebody who holds this standard of English language, when they are talking, the rules of word stress can help you to better understand them and to better get the conversation. So, word stress is also the key to be a better speaker and to better understand the the listeners. So, getting to this information of word stress, like I have already given you the examples of words such as photograph, photography, photographic. These are three words with different meaning, different pronunciation, and of course different form, but the root word is same. So, all you have to keep in mind is words in English language are pronounced the way they are pronounced, and words follow different pronunciation technique, though they come from the same root word. So, there are a lot of stress rules that we can follow, that we are supposed to follow to be, to following these standards of word stress, and also in order to be a better speaker. So, let us move on to the slide to understand this better in terms of how do I break the word and how do I stress and which part of the word I stress precisely. So, moving to the slide here. Let us pronounce these words completely. So, the first word is transformation, the next word is delivery, the third word you see is capital, transformation, delivery and capital. So, simple. The rule book is the vowel sounds in a word. Okay, the vowel sounds in the word, your syllable is equivalent to the number of syllables in a word. So, I would like you all to look at me for the explanation right now. So, all you are supposed to do is follow the simple rule, that is break the word first. So, when I said transformation, I mean when there is a break in the word, that is equivalent to the number of vowel sounds in the word. So, let us clap and understand this word in order to understand the number of syllables in a word. Transformation. Once again, transformation. So, we have 4 syllables here. So, the rule of word stress, it clearly says for the words ending with T-I-O-N. So, the words ending with T-I-O-N, they follow a certain specific rule, word pattern of pronunciation, that is we are supposed to stress on the last but the second word. So, T-I-O-N, and before that we have the spelling as M-A, and that is also one of the vowel sounds. So, you are supposed to stress on M-A. So, it is transformation, transformation, transformation. Next word that we just read is the word delivery, delivery. So, it is 3 syllable word, and the focus can be on the first part of the word here. The next word was capital. So, English language follows very simple rule for 2 syllable words. So, when I say 2 syllable, when there is a break in the word for 2 times, so it is capital. So, it is capital. So, it is like what, 3 syllable again. So, all you are supposed to do is for 2 syllable words, the rule book says clearly that you are supposed to follow the first part of the word that needs to be stressed. For all your nouns, your adjectives, you are supposed to stress on the first part of the word. Likewise, for the verbs, you are supposed to stress on the last part of the word, that is the words such as content and content. So, when I say content, I am stressing on the first word, first part of the word, hence it is a noun, and the word is content. So, when I stress on the second part of the word, I mean content, and I mean a verb there, it has a different meaning, it is used in different context. So, next time when somebody asks you what is the right pronunciation for the word content or content, do not jump out and give out information that content is incorrect and content is correct, or content is incorrect and content is correct, because 2 words have different context, different meaning and different pronunciation. Just because I never heard this as part of, I never heard this in listening, doesn't mean the word, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So, the rule book for word stress, the number of vowel sounds are equivalent to number of syllables in a word. And how do I count the syllable? I break the word. So, the suggested method is the clap method, where I clap and get the syllables correct, get the number of vowel sounds correct, and then I follow the rules. The rules are very simple. 2 syllable word, if it is a noun, we stress on the first part of the word. Two-syllable word, it's an adjective, I again stress on the first part of the word. So, the word beautiful, so the word beautiful has to be stressed on the first part, which is beau, and then followed it with the other stress. And the next rule is two-syllable word, if it is a verb, the second part of the word has to be stressed. So, this is one form of your rule for your word stress, and the other rules we will just go ahead and understand to just get more clarity. So, let us look at the slide right now. So, how do I identify the syllables? Simple. Count the number of vowel sounds, that is number of syllables, number of vowel sounds are equal. Clap to mark the change of sound in every word, that is number of claps is equals to your number of syllables. Place hand below chin and say the word. Well, this is also one of the methods to get the syllable count, but not really suggested. So, let us listen to this explanation once again. So, the rule book is very clear in terms of identifying the syllables. So, basically these are the rules to identify and get the syllable count correct. So, the first rule is, so you can listen to me, I mean the slide is not really needed here. So, the count the number of vowel sounds. So, how do I count? Number of syllables are always equal to number of vowel sounds, keep that in mind. So, the number of vowel sounds that you see in a word, example apple, well the vowel letter is A there, but how many syllables do you listen? So, it is apple, so it is two syllables, two vowel sounds. So, that is the first point, that is how do I count the number of vowel sounds? Number of syllables is equal to your number of vowel sounds. The second important point to keep in mind is the clap method that we are supposed to follow in order to get the syllables. Well, the clap method is very simple. When there is a break in the word is where you clap, that is examples Japan. So, it is Japan. So, it's the clap method says there are two syllables for this word. So, likewise words such as computer, it has three syllables, computer, three syllables again. So, the word chair is just single syllable and there is no syllable to it. So, I will give you the rule how to pronounce words which are single syllable, which do not have a second syllable attached to it. Words such as table has two syllable. Once again the word table has two syllable, it is a noun, and hence I am supposed to stress the first part of the word, which is table, keep that in mind. So, clap to mark the change of sound in every word that you speak in order to learn and get this syllable count correct. So, number of claps is equivalent to number of syllables. So, that is something we have to keep in mind. The third point is very simple. Place hand below your chin in order to get the syllable count. Well, this is a little tricky because not always you can get the right count when you hold the chin and give the word. So, table, table. It might be slight confusion out here, so I would not suggest this. The suggestion is to clap and get the syllable count. So, that is something I can keep in mind. Moving to a slide to understand this topic better. Syllable stress identification. So, we just looked up to these words. Information has 4 syllable, capital has 3 syllable, investor has 3 syllable, paid up is again a 2 syllable word. So, let us look at me to understand this. Why are we even getting into the count of the words? Why are we even counting the vowel sounds in a word? Well, this is totally linked to your right pronunciation. If I do not know how to recognize or do not know how to count the number of syllables, it's going to be difficult for me to apply the right stress. And when I am not able to apply the right stress, I give out a different word in a different context. So, the context could be something like words such as record and record. Record, record. Now, one word has different meaning and different pronunciation, different and used in different context altogether. So, when I say record, I am stressing on the first part of the word, it is a noun, and I clearly mean to record the songs, to record the speech. But when I say record, I clearly mean it is a verb, and clearly it says, to have a record of information, a pile of records are lying there in the office. So, it has a different context altogether. So, when I give a different stress, I give out a different word and I give out a different meaning. So, the advice is to master the rule of word stress in order to be better at pronunciation. And how do I do it? Follow, first and foremost, identify the number of syllables and then apply the syllable rules to it. So, going to the same slide again, syllable stress identification. The word says information. So, this word has 4 syllables and the stressed word is MA. So, let us hear me out here again. So, when I say stress, what are you supposed to do here? We technically give this particular segment of the word much clearer, little bit louder, and we might increase little bit on the pitch level too. So, the stressed syllable in the word is given little emphasis, it is accentuated, and it is given that right amount of little high volume in order to make it more clearer. Once again, when we say stress this part of the word and this part of the word has to be stressed, simple rule, I give that word more clearer, I increase little on the volume level, I accentuate and emphasize this particular vowel sound. One word in English language has 1 syllable and only that syllable is stressed. Few words have something called primary stress and the secondary stress as well, but however, to keep in mind, most English words follow the simple rule of primary stress, that is 1 word 1 stress rule. In comparison to lot of Indian languages, Hindi, Telugu again, all the words, all the part of the word is stressed. So, hence it is very difficult for all of us to learn what is happening in the standards of English language, because English follows a stress rule book and English is a timed stressed language, unlike our first language Hindi or Telugu. So, all you have to do is the way I speak words, the way I speak in Hindi, Telugu, I am not supposed to follow the same technique to words, the language that I am learning, that is English language, because English follows a certain rule of giving out words and Indian languages have certain rule of giving out the information or the words. That is something I have to keep in mind. And the rules are very simpler. There are number of rules of word stress, they are easy. I mean, there shouldn't be any constraint with regard to not memorizing it, not getting it right in one go. But however, likewise we have many exceptions in English language as well. So, when you are learning next time the word stress rule, not just learn the rules, but learn the exceptions attached to it. So, let us move on to the same slide again. So, the slide is very simple. It says the second word is capital, which has 3 syllables, and the word which is stressed in the word capital is CA, it is a noun. Then the word investor, it is a 3 syllable word, and very clear we have to stress on VES, which is VES, investor. The next word has 2 syllables. It's a compound noun. The first part of the word is stress. So, maybe you guys can hear it for this explanation right now. There are a lot of words in English language, the 2 words come together to give out one meaning. So, they are compound nouns or compound words. So, in compound nouns, like compound nouns, we have compound verbs as well. So, in compound nouns, the first word is stressed. Words such as paid up, words such as desktop, words such as laptop, words again, list of words such as hardware, software. So, all these words, they combine to give out one meaning, and hence they are called compound words. Compound nouns take a very simple rule, which is the first part of the word is stressed, whereas the compound verb is stressed on the second part of the word. So, that is something we have to remember this as a rule book. Going back to the slide again, now this slide gives you information to identify the stress rule. It also helps you to give the number of stress, that is the number of syllables which is a count in a word. Information has 4 syllable, capital has 3 syllable, investor has 3 syllable, paid up has 2 syllable. So, let us move on to the next slide with this new word again. Condition has 3 syllable again, and the word that I am supposed to stress, part of the word is DI. So, it is condition. The next slide, like we have already discussed, how do I stress the word? How do I give a syllable stress or the word stress to the word? Jump up in the pitch on the syllable, that is increase your volume level, stretch the syllable. So, you are supposed to stretch that particular sound in order to make it more accentuated, in order to make it more clearer, in order to make it more crisper. Articulate the syllable clearly by slowing down on the syllable. So, when we are giving out a word and the certain part of the word is stressed in this particular word, you are supposed to articulate it well. So, maybe you can listen to this explanation. So, when I say articulation, I mean clearly enunciating the word. So, getting the right sound, producing it with the right mouth organ. So, your nasal, or is it bilabial, or is it with the tip of tongue. So, these are your articulators, while you are producing a certain sound, when you are giving out a certain word. So, ma, na and ing follows the sound which your nasal cavity takes the vibration. So, you are supposed to enunciate the same manner in order to give the word correctly. So, that is something we have to keep in mind. So, when it say articulation, I mean the word is clearly articulated, clearly given out. So, you are supposed to follow the technique, articulate the syllable clearly, slowing down on that particular syllable. That is, you are supposed to slow down in the next consecutive syllable. However, the stressed syllable should follow the same technique of what we have just learned in the slide. Let us go back to the slide. Jump up in the pitch on the syllable, stretch the syllable, that is elongate it, and then articulate it well. So, all you are supposed to do is first learn how to count the syllable, and then identify which syllable to focus on, and once you have identified it, follow the technique of giving it in a correct articulation technique, increase the volume level, stretch that particular vowel sound, and then give out the word. So, let us hear these set of words: content, communication, conversation, information, productive, productivity, production, photography, television, many more words, computer, telephone, conference, time, leader, manager. Countries such as China, Japan, Netherlands, France, Middle East, America. So we can just like go on with the list of examples again. I just wanted to give you a little hint with regard to how the stress pattern is applied and how do you pronounce a word by following this rule. Let's keep in mind that the last 3 sessions we heavily focused on IPA chart, getting the sounds correct, apply and giving the right nasal tinge or maybe the right vibration to the particular sound. After learning that, the important topic is your word stress. So when you combine these 2 topics, your word is spoken better, your words are understood better, and yes, you can achieve fluency and effective communication through these words that can be applied at. So the other thing to keep in mind when you're applying these concepts, start listening and start observing people. So when you start listening to a lot of language, that is English language, either through news channels or maybe through songs or movies or whatever suits you better, make an observation how certain words are pronounced, why certain words take certain technique. That is, not all words are pronounced the same manner in an English language. Start making notes, and if you feel a certain explanation is needed out there, maybe you can browse through to understand this. And after listening, making notes, the next important tip is the application part of it. So you're supposed to start applying it when you are maybe talking to a friend, talking to a relative, talking to somebody at a university, talking to somebody at your college. You're supposed to follow that as, you're supposed to apply that you're learning out there, and see what the feedback is being communicated, whether you're understood better, whether you're not understood better. And if you're understood well, I'm sure these efforts of us are taken into regard. If you're not understood better, then we have to like really go back and look up to our basics again. So these videos are very much available. You can go back, really learn these basics and apply it once again. Start recording your speech in your smartphone or any recording device. Hear it back and apply the rules what we have said about the enunciation of sounds and the word stress techniques. So I like to really give you this information that if I have to really give word stress in terms of explaining you the information or the topic, like a machine, a computer for example, has a lot of components in it. If one of the components do not function, and if one of the components is not actively functional, the entire computer can be stopped. The computer is of no point to be used, or there is no way that you can get the benefit out of this particular device. Likewise, a word is comprised of different syllables or different parts to it. If they are not enunciated or pronounced the way they are supposed to be done, then the word is incorrectly pronounced, it's mispronounced, and it is of no value to the listener when the person is not getting the word correctly in terms of the standards of pronunciation. So please go back and think on this example that I gave you, a computer, different components. One of the components not functional, it is not an active device. The device is not going to add any value to the work that we have been doing, that we will end up doing. Likewise, if the words which is made up of different parts, the sum of parts play a very important role. So if you're not able to apply the rule of word stress, the rule of syllable stress, then you give out the word incorrectly, and the moment the word is incorrectly given, it is not understood, you're unprofessional, simple because you're giving it really hard time to the listener. So these things are all accounted. So in order to make your speech effective, in order to make your words more understood, the only topic to be followed is syllable stress and the word stress. In the next consecutive videos, we will focus on this topic again with load of examples, maybe from a day-to-day activities. So I would suggest you all go through this particular video again, go back to the other video series. If you have any specific questions, maybe you can and you should write us back, and we would certainly help you with the suggestions, more suggestions to work on this topic. And the pre-work for the next class, that is when we are coming down for the next class, I really want you guys to listen to our any news channel that you have handy available, which is where the information is given out in English language. Start making few notes, that is few sentences and words. Check back the rules that we have discussed until now. We have not completed all the rules of word stress, by the way. So whatever the rules that we have just discussed about the 2-word rule and about the TION rule, see if that's been applied, and come back refreshed in the next session to learn more about this topic. Native speakers use word stress very naturally because that's part of the communication, that's part of who they are now. We are learning word stress separately, hence it might be a little difficult for us to understand the entire concept. And even if you have understood the application part, I totally understand it might take some time, and it will take some time, because we are learning word stress, which is part of pronunciation inbuilt as a separate topic together, completely as a different topic. And in comparison to our first language, that is Hindi, Telugu, we never had something called word stress. All the words in the sentences, all part of words in the sentences are pronounced with the same emphasis, with the same stretch, and with the same volume. So hence, when we put the same logic to English language, we sound totally unpleasant, we are not understood, and this is what is called natural English, because I am talking the way I talk in Telugu, I am talking the way I talk in Hindi, and applying the same rule to English language. So have a focus on this. So let me conclude, as this is bringing to the end of the video tutorial for this today. Keep in mind the natural English concept and the global English concept that I said, and let's come back with more understanding about this topic in detail. So thank you for watching, and we really appreciate all your presence. Do write us back for any specific question. We have a team of experts where we can help you answer this specific question that you're looking out for, any difficulty that you've been facing at. So, thank you once again.